Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Hari Naam Sankirtan Yajna ki. Today we see such a beautiful darshan of Shri Shri Radha Golokananda, all with the spring flowers, adorning their beautiful forms. Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki. Hare Krishna. So a few quick announcements before we move on to the talk. Actually this week on Ekadashi, on Tuesday, was the actual tithi for the Vyas Puja of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj ki. The glories of Maharaj is, amazing. Those who know Maharaj is an inspiration for everyone in ISKCON. Such an important pillar in our ISKCON Krishna conscious movement. And in spite of all his health challenges, he just goes on and on, preaching, traveling all over, and then initiating disciples, spreading Krishna consciousness. He is an example of such an exalted personality, and we are so fortunate to actually be in his association and to glorify him. His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj ki Jai. So today the disciples of Maharaj have sponsored the feast. So let's thank them, express our gratitude by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Also, today we are celebrating the birthday of Divyansh. Is he here? Yeah, I think he was down. He's helping with the Prabhupada Hall. So, Balkrishna Prabhu and Sakhi Sundar Mataji has sponsored the feast for their son's Divyan's birthday. Haribo. And not only that, they actually prepared the entire feast today. So, it is Balkrishna Prabhu, Sakhi Sundari Mataji and their team, which is called Mahaprabhu team. They have actually prepared, since his birthday, they have prepared cake and pizza and a very different kind of menu for Divyan's birthday. So let's pray for Divyansh. Let's pray to Shri Shri Radha Golokananda to shower all their blessings on Divyansh so he can grow wonderfully in his Krishna conscious journey, and also express gratitude to Balkrishna Prabhu and Sakhi Sundar Mataji for cooking and sponsoring the feast. So let's loudly chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So after the talk, when you proceed downstairs, there are 2 cultural performances, and after that we'll have prasadam. And before we have prasadam, we'll have a short birthday celebration for Divyansh. Okay? So now let's warmly welcome His Grace Drishta Prabhu, who will be giving a talk on Bhagavad Gita today. Haribo! We request everyone, if you can kindly come forward, please turn yourself towards the speaker. And if you can kindly, all Prabhus also, please come forward all the way. We always have more devotees come during the class. So we are very fortunate, as I mentioned, to have Drishta Prabhu in our community, giving us wonderful, very inspiring association. And we are very fortunate to hear from him today. His Grace Drishta Prabhu ki Jai.
I'm very fortunate to have all of your association. It's so fortunate, actually, that we have such advanced disciples of Srila Prabhupada, like Srila Jayapataka Maharaj. This is an example of how powerful Srila Prabhupada is that he's made so many very great Vaishnavas who have changed the world. I mean, we haven't really fully understood how the world has been changed, but we can understand that Srila Prabhupada has made so many great devotees who are preaching his mission everywhere. So before we sing, before we give the class, we'll sing Jai Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Vardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Naranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Sodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Vardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parikacharya Satara Sadashi Srimada's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Singh Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai. Jai Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanashai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Godana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki. Harinam Sankirtan Ki. Brihat Madanga Ki. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki. Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru Rangaranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we'll be hearing from Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is the most important edition of the Bhagavad Gita that's ever been published. Imagine how few people anywhere, and especially in the West, understood anything about Krishna before Srila Prabhupada made his journey here in 1965. That's 60 years ago. And this Sunday feast program, which he inaugurated, has been going on nearly that long too. So today we'll hear from Bhagavad Gita, as Srila Prabhupada wanted us to hear every day. But this is the foundational understanding of Krishna consciousness that Srila Prabhupada is giving the world through his commentary. So today we'll be reading from the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. It's verses 12 and 13. It's a little, in a sense, we'll say unusual in the sense that most of the Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna. And most of what Arjuna says in the Bhagavad Gita, there are questions. And this is one of the few areas where Arjuna is actually making a declaration. He's declaring here what he understands now about the Supreme Lord. Given all that he's heard at this point, we're in the 10th chapter now, and the 10th chapter is in the middle, or it's in the middle of the middle section of the Bhagavad Gita, chapters 7 through 12. And this is the essential teachings of bhakti. And Krishna has just finished speaking the four most important verses of the Bhagavad Gita, which we'll touch on later. So that this is Arjuna's response to hearing the Bhagavad Gita to this point, and in particular hearing these four verses. So for time purposes here, I'm going to just read the Sanskrit myself, and then the translation, and then we'll explore the purport. Arjuna vacha, param brahma param dhamma, pavitram paramam bhavan, purusham shasvatam divyam, adi devam majavibhum, ahustvam rishaya sarve, devarshir naradas tata, asito devalo vyasa, swayam chaiva bravishime. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyas confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me." Please repeat. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyas, confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminita Ramani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bhatrani Nirvasesa Shunyavadi Pashtatesh Turni. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In these two verses, this is Srila Prabhupada's purport. In these two verses, the Supreme Lord gives a chance to the modern philosopher, for here it is clear that the Supreme is different from the individual soul. Arjuna, after hearing the essential four verses of Bhagavad Gita, that's verses 8 through 11, in this chapter, became completely free from all doubts and accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He at once boldly declares, "You are Param Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead." So Krishna will turn to these verses, the four verses before, states in these four verses, essential truth. And in not just in one aspect, but in several aspects. So I'll just read the English and we'll talk about each essential truth he's speaking about. Text number 8. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So this is an assertion here, aham sarvasya prabhavo, that I am the source of all generation. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karna Karnam. Krishna he's God. And God is the cause of all causes. He is the power behind everything. He is the source of everything. There's no source that creates him. And he can only be understood by those who have actually given themselves to him in devotional service. It states here, the wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. And what is that worship? The thoughts of my pure devotees, this is verse number 9, dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Matchita, madgata, prana. Matchita, their minds are fully engaged. Matgata, prana, their lives are devoted to me. And katayantas, talking also. What? Mam nityam, about me, perpetually. So this is, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, cause of all causes. The devotees understand him through the process of hearing and chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, then Smaranam. So, we can only remember if we Shravanam and Kirtanam, hear and chant. And here he states that the pure devotees, they're always hearing and chanting about the Lord. And then the Lord goes on to say in verse number 10, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I give buddhi yogam, real intelligence. What is real intelligence? In this world, they think that real intelligence is being able to program computers or build big buildings or make faster communication devices or find some way to enjoy sense gratification in a very more interesting way. But that's all been done before. Every animal, every beast, every living entity can enjoy the senses. And so the human beings can waste their time in trying to use the intelligence that way. But the real intelligence is given by Krishna to those who are constantly devoted to him with love. Satata yuktanam, always engage. What? Bhajantam, in rendering devotional service. This rendering of devotional service is something that's very essential. The words oftentimes used in the Gita for devotional service that Prabhupada renders as devotional service are bhajatam or bhakti. There's different words that are used in Sanskrit. But Prabhupada makes it very clear that it's devotional service. That is, it is activities that are in relationship with the Supreme Lord where we give ourselves to him. And this is done in many different ways. In the case of Arjuna, the devotional service was not what we would call silent meditation or quiet puja, but it was ghastly warfare. Why? Because Krishna had a plan, and that Arjuna was fitting into his plan by acting in a way that would help Krishna establish righteousness in this world and overthrow pritranaya sadhunam, saving the devotees and killing the demons. So then we go to the next verse, number 11, which is particularly favorite one of mine, to show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Jnana dipena bhashvata. Jnana dipena bhashvata, the glowing lamp of knowledge. And we pray, Om Jnana Timarandasya Gananganan Shalakaya Chakshu Unmeditangena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. O Gurudev, you've opened my darkened eyes, which have been shut tight in ignorance, with the torchlight of knowledge. So this knowledge is coming from Krishna through Guru, through Srila Prabhupada, and then beyond to the current gurus today. And actually to each one of us. Because each one of us, if we take up this process of Krishna consciousness seriously, can become guru in some way. Mother is guru to the child. Teacher is guru to the student. Husband is guru to the wife, and maybe wife is guru to the husband. We have so many different examples of personalities who can teach Krishna consciousness based upon the fact that they've heard from their spiritual master and understand authoritatively the process of Krishna consciousness. So let's continue with Prabhupada's purport here. And previously, Krishna stated that he is the originator of everything and everyone. Every demigod and every human being is dependent on him. Men and demigods, out of ignorance, think that they are absolute and independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That ignorance is removed perfectly by the discharge of devotional service. Now, it's a natural occurrence in this material world that when one has some opulence or some intelligence or some strength or some beauty, that one begins to think that I am very great. The demigods, they suffer from this. They're devotees, but as we hear from the story of Indra so many times, he's making the mistake of thinking that I'm the topmost head man. I'm the best. But what is he? He's simply the head of the administrative demigods. He's nothing even compared to Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. But still, the tendency is for one to think that we are independent or that we're absolute. And that we can ignore the Supreme Lord. But how do we ignore the Supreme Lord? If we actually look at the situation, everything is provided for us in this planet. The air, the water, the environment, everything is there. We can only degrade it. We're not really able to improve it. The cycles of nature have been working forever, and now there's change in the climate. It's not something that Krishna created. It's something that we have managed to mess up ourselves because we're not following in the absolute teachings of the Supreme Lord. So every demigod and every human being is dependent on him. Everything is dependent on him. And how do we remove the ignorance? That ignorance of our dependence on Krishna is removed perfectly by the discharge of devotional service. So what is devotional service? Well, there's glimmers of devotional service in many faiths, Christians and Muslims and other religions. They have some idea that God is there and God is great and God is there for, he's given us everything. But because there's a lack of real clarity of who God is and what the purpose of our worshiping God is, it's the results of their worship are very mixed. You see, pure devotional service is what we're being given by Srila Prabhupada, and that is anyabhilashita shunyam jnanam kamanavritam. It's devotional service free from the desire for fruit of gain or knowledge. And in this material world, we find that most of the prayers are for some fruit of gain or for some knowledge. And that knowledge is for fruit of gain. And it's all for me. Because the teaching of Ananya Bhakti or pure Bhakti isn't being given. Therefore, this teaching of pure devotional service is coming down in disciplic succession from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Prabhupada through the chain of disciplic succession, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and the 6 Goswamis before them. And there are many others intervening, Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who are handing down this knowledge of Ananya Bhakti, pure devotion. And this pure devotion is something that we are being given an opportunity to aspire for. Because unless one knows what pure devotion is, how can one aspire for it? So we're given that through the process of devotional service. And it's stated, I, dwelling in the heart, like the shining lamp of knowledge, destroy the darkness born of ignorance. So this is what Prabhupada's referring to. This has already been explained in the previous verse by the Lord. Now, by his grace, Arjuna is accepting him as the supreme truth in concordance with the Vedic injunction. It is not that because Krishna is Arjuna's intimate friend, Arjuna is flattering him by calling him the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. It's important to know that this has been backed up by the great sages like Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyas. Krishna consciousness is an absolutely bona fide process of pure understanding of the Lord and ultimately service to the Lord. Nothing is made up. Nothing is concocted. Everything is backed up by scriptural understanding and previous acharyas' comments and realizations. We don't see that. Many times, unfortunately, someone will come up and say, I've just had a realization, and this realization is whatever, but where did that realization come from? I woke up with it today. Or I took some drug, or I did something, and I had this realization that, we are whatever. Fill in the blank. But no one understands that we're an absolute servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is eternally residing in Goloka Vrindavan as a cowherd boy with boyfriends, girlfriends, mothers, and servants, and so much. This is impossible to understand. They'll all come up with something, that I'm this and I'm that and you're that. And in the end, usually it is, we're all one, we're all God, or we're all nothing, or something like that. Whatever Arjuna says in these 2 verses is confirmed by Vedic truth. Vedic injunctions affirm that only one who takes to devotional service to the Supreme Lord can understand him, whereas others cannot. Each and every word of this verse spoken by Arjuna is confirmed by Vedic injunction. In the Kenu Upanishad, it is stated that the Supreme Brahman is the rest for everything. And Krishna has already explained that everything is resting on him. The Brahman rests upon him. In the Mundaka Upanishad, the Mundaka Upanishad confirms that the Supreme Lord, in whom everything is resting, can be realized only by those who engage constantly in thinking of him. This constant thinking of Krishna is smaranam, one of the methods of devotional service. It is only by devotional service that one can understand his position and get rid of this material body. Everyone in this material world is thinking, and we all think we're our material body. Now, we've heard that we're not our bodies. And we sometimes can realize we're not our bodies. But when somebody gets us angry, all of a sudden, we're our bodies. Don't do that. I wouldn't do it that way, or whatever. So many things. Our bodies, our conception of ourselves, either the subtle mind, intelligence, and ego, or the gross earth, water, fire, air, ether, our senses, our mind. So many ways we can identify ourselves as the center of everything. After all, I've lived with myself for a long time, and I must be the center of everything because everything I see going around me. And unfortunately, Prabhupada would say that many religions teach that, God is an order supplier to make sure that everything centered around me goes just right. But as long as we think that we're going to be the center, and he thinks, and he thinks, and she thinks, and he thinks, and we all think there was a center, and we're all praying to God, work it out for me. Does that mean everybody gets it worked out for them or not? Prabhupada talks about how in the First World War, and I think maybe he gave the Second World War as an example too, that the British women and the German women and the American women all prayed for their husbands and fathers and sons to come home from the war. But they all didn't come. Some of them got what they wanted from God, they think, and others didn't get what they want, they think. But actually everything is happening by the cycle of karmic reactions. But then they blame God. Oh, it's God's fault. Actually, nothing's God's fault because God has made everything happen the way it's supposed to happen. He tells this to Arjuna. He says, Arjuna, everyone in this battlefield is going to die. Now you can either work with me and gain glory as my devotee, or you can go your way and lose yourself in the material world. And this is what he's asking us all along, all of us. Work with me and gain the glory of being a devotee. Now, being a glorious devotee, we're not glorious for ourselves. We have no glory. I have no glory, for sure. But the point being is that we are only, quote, glorious in our service to the Lord. In our service to the Lord, we can be, quote, glorious. I mean, if you look at Srila Prabhupada's life from outside, we know that every moment he never forgot Krishna. But if a person may look at his life and see, here's a man, he goes to college, he gets a family, he has a business, the business fails, he decides he's a very religious person, and somehow or other he's successful. I mean, that seems like, well, he's just lucky. No. He's totally absorbed in serving Krishna. And he's glorious because everything he does, it's not that Prabhupada knows that Krishna has already arranged it for him. It's like when he was built, when at Juhu Beach, and the building of Hare Krishna land, and getting the land, and working with this Mr. Nair and his wife, who are like bona fide demons. It's not like Prabhupada, Krishna told him, well, actually, it's all going to work out. No anxiety, no problem. No, No, he had lots of problems. He had disciples that didn't know what to do. He had crazy things going on. That Krishna was like, it was his faith in Krishna that made him great. It wasn't that, what's so great about it if Krishna just says, everything's done, don't worry. That's not how it works. It's not how it worked with Arjuna. Arjuna, trust me, serve me, and I'll make sure that it works out. But you have to act. We have to act. In the Vedas, the Supreme Lord is accepted as the purest of the pure. One who understands that Krishna is the purest of the pure can become purified from all sinful activities. One cannot be disinfected from sinful activities unless he surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. Arjuna's acceptance of Krishna as the Supreme Pure complies with the injunctions of Vedic literature. This is also confirmed by great personalities, of whom Narada is the chief. There is no solution to our entrapment in this material world. We read in the Bhagavatam about so many yogis who try so hard to purify their senses, and the least amount of disturbance, maybe it's a lot of disturbance in some cases, but when the disturbance comes, they can't maintain their position of trying to control their senses. Vishwamitra Muni, he meditated for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Now, we can only imagine what it's like when Indra sends down one of the damsels of heaven. Don't think we can't be tempted. Oh, I'm okay. I chant Hare Krishna. My desires have become much less. Maybe, but don't go look at Menaka. And if you do, you better remember Haridas Thakur. Because Haridas Thakur, he was tempted by Maya herself. But because he was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In one class Prabhupada was giving in the early days, he said, this Mahamantra is your only hope. In Kali Yuga, it's full of faults. But this Mahamantra is the redeeming value of this Kali Yuga. Because in this Kali Yuga, the Mahamantra is given freely by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. And by doing that, this Kali Yuga then becomes auspicious. I know it doesn't seem that auspicious, and it certainly isn't auspicious. For anyone but a devotee, this Kali Yuga is going to get more and more inauspicious. And for us, we'll be surrounded by inauspiciousness, but if we grab hold onto Krishna in the form of his holy name, then we can become purified from sinful activities. See, sinful activities aren't just the four regulated principles. Those are the seed for all other sinful activities. It's acting in a way separate from God. Let's look at the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's take a look at the pastimes in Vrindavan. These are the highest pastimes. In Vrindavan, no one can understand that Krishna is God. This is because they're so pure that Krishna agrees to cover them over so that they can relate to Krishna with no barriers at all. Arjuna is not so advanced. Arjuna is a pure devotee, and he's Krishna's friend. But there is a gap between Krishna and Arjuna. It's a philosophical gap. It's a gap that comes out also in the 11th chapter when Arjuna is freaked out by the universal form, and at one point says, "Oh my, you're God. I've been hanging out with you just eating and joking, and probably I've told some jokes at your expense, and, what? He's beside himself. Forgive me. That won't ever happen. Nanda Baba will punish Krishna, and he's not going to think anything twice. Krishna needs to be chastised. He's going to be chastised. And Mother Yashoda is going to tie him up because they don't have any separation between themselves and Krishna. There's no sin. There is absolutely no sin. In the material world, our sin is what separates us from Krishna. Yes, it comes from the four regulated principles, but it's also our false ego that lets us think that I'm important. Actually, Krishna needs me. Or I'm important, this family needs me. Or, my sense enjoyment is the best in the whole world and everybody should be like me. Or whatever we have that separates us. I'm a very pious person. What's material piety? Even in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the demons sound kind of pious. I'm perfect and happy. I do all the sacrifices. I'm doing all what I'm supposed to do. This is demoniac, ultimately. I'm a big religionist. So many religionists. Ravana was a big religionist. He worshiped Shiva all the time. Yes, very important. I have to worship in order to get what I want. But for us,